Bike lanes have always been a polarizing issue amongst Vancouverites, and with the city approving another bike lane along the Point Grey corridor, the battle between cyclists and motorists continues. Let's start the Free Talk. Hi, I'm Allison Riley, and you're watching Free Talk, the show where we discuss current events and issues that affect Vancouverites. In a controversial decision, the City of Vancouver approved the closure of Point Grey Road from McDonald to Alma to be exclusively for pedestrians, cyclists, and local traffic. While bike enthusiasts are thrilled, many are concerned of the overflow of traffic onto adjacent routes, and some are even suggesting that the needs of the few wealthy residents are outweighing the needs of thousands of commuters. All right, so George, tell us about the plans for the Cornwall bike lane and the York bike lane.
Well, as was approved by City Council a few weeks ago, it's basically to shut down Point Grey Road at McDonald and create a private street for residents and cyclists along there, and create a bike route along York and other areas along Kitts.
Now, before you've said that the City Council seemed very dogmatic about their insistence on passing these bike lanes. Can you tell us why that is?
Well, Vision Vancouver has proven to be obsessed with bike lanes and separated bike lanes, which is it's certainly they argue that they campaign on this, and that's why they deserve to be able to build bike lanes wherever they want. But this one was particularly worrisome because we had about 70% of the people that came to council speaking against this very passionately. And when that kind of majority of people come against that, to speak against something, and the data within the staff report also indicated around 65 to 70% of the people were opposed to this, we as elected officials should take that into our consideration. And in my mind, this proposal was too soon. It was going too fast, and it was dividing a neighborhood.
Tell us about your involvement in the Point Grey bike lanes and your opinions on the matter.
So Hub has been working with its members and the community to understand the highest priority for cycle routes that people want to see improved in terms of being comfortable on them and feeling more safe. And that Point Grey Cornwall section was the #1 priority for the people in Vancouver.
And why was that?
People feel quite unsafe on it. They're trying to get to destinations like Kitts Beach and Jericho, and a lot of popular family and recreational destinations. And they did not want to share a lane with fast-moving traffic. So the city and Hub and lots of other folks want to make sure that all ages and abilities can feel like they can get around by bike. It's very healthy, it's very active, and it helps connect communities.
Now, was there a high rate of incidents along the Point Grey corridor there?
I believe there were about 51 accidents involving bicycles in the previous 4 years.
Now, a lot of people who are opposed to the bike lanes are saying that the city is prioritizing the needs of the few wealthy residents along the area rather than the thousands of cars that are being diverted to other streets such as McDonald and 4th and Broadway. Do you guys have any stance on that at all, or?
For us, the whole focus is on all ages and abilities access to those beautiful recreational areas and to visit friends and to go to any of the places along there. Feeling safe and comfortable on your bike. For us, it has nothing to do with the class of people that live there or their socioeconomic status. As mentioned, our members, there's 1,000 people plus all over the city that said this is a really important corridor for us, and it's a gap in the network. So that's what our focus was. And it was never built as a road to be a thoroughfare. It was not meant to be a 4th or a Broadway. It's meant to be a residential street, but a lot of people were using it to cut through and creating some really dangerous situations.
Right.
There have been a lot of points brought up that this is creating an exclusive street for very rich people in the city, but you could also argue this is creating an exclusive street for cyclists, and they may or may not be rich. So it's really about creating an opportunity for niche groups and not considering the needs of the overall citizens of this city. And we are a council elected at large for the city to represent all of Vancouver, not just neighborhoods. And I think that we need to consider in this case what the needs of the city of all citizens are in the city. And clearly, based on the volume of people that came against this, we weren't making a decision that the majority of the people were asking for.
Now, can you tell me about your plan that was rejected as far as reclaiming city property?
There was an opportunity that wasn't presented in the report in a clear way, in the fact that we own a significant amount of property west of McDonald, along the most complicated part of the route. And it was never considered in a way that I think would have been the best way, which was basically to reclaim the land that people along Point Grey Road have taken as their own. It's our land, and we should be able to use it for whatever purpose we need. And it's large enough to fit a nice separated bike route all the way along there, and then also have cars. And the argument was that we don't want to cut down trees, and we don't want to it's too expensive and too complicated. But if there's another solution that would make the residents happier, we should consider it very seriously.
The barrier to doing that was a huge cost. And thinking about the tax-paying Vancouverite, I think they would be more upset about using a lot of money to do that rather than reallocating some space.
Talk of that yet?
Well, one of the challenges, and that this is a concern the neighbors brought up, with the closing off of Point Grey Road at McDonald, you'll have a lot of people ducking into side streets and increasing volume of traffic, which makes it more unsafe for the neighbors in that area. And there's lots of kids in that neighborhood, lots of other cyclists along 3rd Avenue. So enforcement, certainly in a lot of ways in the city, is always a challenge. We get complaints constantly with cyclists going the wrong ways and on sidewalks, and we have cars, of course, ducking on side streets all over the city. It happens in Strathcona, happens in Kitts, happens around Main Street, where you can get away from or get around, you'll do it, and that's a concern. And enforcement, it would be a challenging one.
As always, here at Free Talk, we want to hear what you think. So tweet us at Free Talk TV or find us on Facebook. I'm Allison Riley, and thanks for watching Free Talk.